Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm proud to report to you that we finally got League number 2 going. We finally found enough stand-up people that want to go ahead and play, and we got rid of all the deadbeats. So, all that really leaves us with is 2 items really to discuss. The first one would be the draft. We don't have anything set as of yet. I just wanted to make sure that we had guys committed to the league before I did that. Anybody here that's run leagues before as a commissioner knows that there's definitely a little bit of bullshit that you occasionally have to deal with when it comes to this. But proud to say that we do have 12 very, very in tune, very football knowledgeable fantasy dorks, myself included. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do I figured it'd be funner to do it this way. I'm not going to do the 1 hour before the draft thing where the ESPN just automatically picks whoever picks where. So I came up with this little list here. Okay, all the teams' names are on this list. I don't know how good you can actually see it. The resolution here isn't all that great. See Team Costa, Team Foster, GAB, Team Johnson, Team Martinez, Team Nelson, Atlanta, and then let's see here, Team Tupe, Coventry, and wow, if I'm tell I don't do a lot of stuff with videos. Big Nasty and Breakfast, and then my team. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear these little pieces of paper off. I'm going to fold them up. I'm going to put them into a hat. Okay, I'll tear them off one by one, and I fold them like so. So you don't see anything. I can't see the names. I can't see anything along those lines. Okay, so I'll do that with each one of them individually. Okay, and then once I am done, my lovely assistant is going to hold this hat. I'm going to dump these things into this hat, and we're going to make good use of her arm for illustration purposes here. And of course, as soon as I want her to do that, she goes running off into the other room, so I have to like wave like an idiot to get her to come back over here. Okay, we're almost ready. Okay. There's the hat. There's the arm. Remember, this is not my arm. Here's my 2 hands. There's the arm. Here are all of the pieces of paper with the names of the teams on them going into this hat. Jessica is then going to back up, and I'm just going to look at the screen, and I'm going to grab each one of them one by one, show them on the screen, and then I'll write the number on it. We're going to start from 12 and go to 1. So obviously the first one that I grab will be pick number 12, etc. Hopefully you guys can add, subtract. All right, first one. And here's the hat. It's above my head. I can't see anything. Okay. Pick number 12 goes to Team Johnson. Okay. Pick number 11 goes to the Coventry Sailbots, which that's Tobias's team, I think. Pick number 10, if I can get it out of there, Big Nasty. Alright, pick number 9. I feel like the commissioner right here. This is hilarious. Like the commissioner of the NFL. Team Nelson. There's Jeff's team. Let's see. Pick number 8 is Wayne's team, Wayne Costa. Alright, we're on to number 7. Number 7 is Team Foster, Mark's team. Alright, pick number 6. We're getting into the top end. John Sirota's team, the Atlanta Samoyeds, number 6. Now we're getting into pick number 5. That is Team Tupe. Pick number 4 goes to GAB. That's Greg's team. Alright. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, the top 3. I get pick number 3, Virginia Beach Redskins. I'll take that. I'm just glad I didn't end up with number 1, so you bastards couldn't accuse me of rigging this thing. 4.2s for breakfast. That's Brian's team, Tobias' brother. That means the number 1 pick goes to Team Martinez. Oh, God, I gotta go to the barbershop and see this guy every couple of weeks. This is really gonna suck. Alright, so that is the draft order. Just to go through it again, Team Martinez, Dave Martinez and Jason Reese's team got number 1. Brian's team, 4.2s for breakfast, got number 2. I got pick number 3. Greg Burns' team, GAB7, got number 4. Team Tupe got pick 5. John Sirota's Atlanta team got 6. Mark Foster's team got 7. Wayne's team, Wayne Costa, got 8. Jeff's team, Jeff Nelson, got 9. Big Nasty got 10. Team Johnson, Coventry got 11, and Team Johnson got number 12. So now that we've got that item of business out of the way, the one other thing I wanted to go over with the new people in the league that have not played in this kind of format before is how and when to draft, say, your defensive players, or when to start looking into it. Generally, in the league in the past, the original league, right about the 7th or 8th round are probably the earliest that you want to, start looking at defensive players. Some knucklehead last year grabbed Ndamukong Suh in the 6th round, which is completely stupid. Just so don't be that guy. The way you want to kind of analyze this is like, let's say on a defense, for instance. Let's say you've got like a superstar stud. We're going to talk about defensive line and then corners and how to really draft and play those guys. Your defensive studs, like you have a guy on the right end that's constantly facing double teams, and that means that the rest of the guy on that line, on that particular line where they play a 3-4 or a 4-3, are going to have a better opportunity to get sacks and tackles, etc. So sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it's better to go with the guy that's going to benefit from the one-on-one coverage because he's going to accumulate more stats, sacks, whatever. Now, that's not going to be true in all circumstances. They're going to be your studs that are going to beat those double teams that you're going to want to get that'll get 15, 20 sacks in the year. But by and large, look at it from that perspective. Linebacker's completely different scenario. You really need to analyze the kind of defense that team generally runs to try to figure out, are the inside linebackers, are they run-stopping linebackers? Do they play in coverage? Are the guys on the edge, are they pass rushers? How is their defense aligned? So that's how you're going to want to figure that out. Like I said, it takes a little bit of work. Now, cornerbacks is a pretty interesting scenario because, the best corners in the league, the best corners, generally don't put up a lot of stats. By and large, they don't put up, too many counting stats because if they're a great corner, they don't get thrown at that much. So, occasionally they'll get an interception if somebody, feels like being bold and keeps throwing at them. But really the strategy you want to employ is, let's take the Jets, for instance, like Darrelle Revis and Antonio Cromartie. I personally, if I were drafting it, I wouldn't take Darrelle Revis. I would actually take Antonio Cromartie because he's the one that's going to be, have the ball thrown at a little bit more often than Revis. Revis is a much tougher guy to throw on. But you're going to have those games where, Revis will score 1 point and then 2 weeks later he'll have a pick six and a couple of other things. So you have to really play that accordingly. But that's a good basis for you to kind of understand how that works. Really, what I would go after initially, quarterbacks are pretty important in this league. The quarterbacks are important. I mean, they're scored accordingly. If your quarterback makes a lot of turnovers, it's going to get adjusted accordingly. So really, ideally, what you're looking for is maybe not a guy that throws 30 touchdowns and 20 picks. You're looking for a guy that throws 20 touchdowns and 5 picks, something along those lines. You get better results in a real game the less turnovers you make. It's the same concept here. The less turnovers your team makes during that week, the better chance you're going to have to win. Running backs are pretty important. Some of the guys in the league have asked questions about why do we have so many running back positions. It's very simple. Most teams in the league don't employ a single back set offense anymore, and even if they do have a primary ball carrier, they're going to have guys that are going to snipe touchdowns on the goal line, fullbacks, just a second running back that's more of a bruiser. In my opinion, if you're to run a football team, why keep just score the guys that score between the 20s and not the guys that do the grunt work on the 20-yard line? So that's how you need to look at it. You need to grab these grunt work guys if you want to run 4 running backs that may snipe a touchdown here or there, and then have a couple of guys that are your main ball carriers. Very simple concept, and everybody will be able to get their hands on running backs. Trust me, there's more than enough that's going to be available. Same thing in wide receivers. Wide receivers are very important. You definitely want to have at least a good core, of 2 really good wide receivers, and then the rest maybe supplementary, the slot guys, the occasional kick returner, that kind of thing. Tight ends are a big deal in football. They went from being hardly anything to now being a staple. I would suggest hopping on the best. If you can get the best tight end in the league, maybe grabbing him in the first or second round, because that's a huge advantage that you're going to have on your opponents moving forward. Unfortunately, we were not able to get the third league going this year. Getting the second league going this year was like passing kidney stones, for Christ's sake. With all of the BS and the garbage that I kept hearing from people, the committing and the non-committing and backing out. The good news is every person we have now is really, they're just gurus on fantasy football. So there's not one person in this league that's going to walk in here and that's going to have an advantage over anybody else in the league because they're playing with a newbie. Every person in this league has been playing for years, decade or more. So it'll be very competitive. I'm very picky about the guys I let join because I want to make sure that, there's not one slump in the league that's, basically, dropping guys you shouldn't drop and doing stupid trades and that kind of thing. It upsets the balance of the league. So we have confident owners, and we should be good to go. Remember, the draft is, the 28th? It's a week from this Tuesday. It's going to be 9 p.m. Make sure you are there. If something happens and some crazy situation comes up, we all have, lives and jobs and families or whatever, and you can't make it, make for certain that you have at least 200 to 250 guys pre-ranked, and you should have already done that anyway. I've had people that in these drafts that, they'll have like the power go out or the computer will freeze up or something stupid happens, and then they're pissed off because they ended up with a guy they didn't want. Well, if you pre-rank your guys, then that won't be a problem. ESPN has a great tool on how to pre-rank your players and even what positions that you want in each round, and you can list up the certain guys that you would pick in what order. It's fantastic. So there's no excuses on why you couldn't get the players that you wanted and, I got screwed. Well, you've been warned, and everybody here has been playing long enough to understand, the rules. With that, I don't really have a whole lot more to go over with everybody in the league right now. I wanted to make sure everybody knew the draft picks. I wanted to make sure that everybody kind of understands a basic concept on how the league runs. I do need everybody to follow our blog. We're going to be doing a lot more updates. Really, we got ramped up with that at the beginning of the year and slowed down a little bit, but we're going to start picking back up on the blog. Just go in and simply enter your email on the right side of the page. You'll see follow. Just put your email in. Whenever we do a blog update about the leagues or whatever, you'll get a direct email. It makes my life a lot easier and have to contact every single one of you guys to go over everything. So, we've got a couple leagues going. Same thing with, YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter. And like us on Facebook. Gets us more exposure. It kind of helps us get to the overall end game. I do appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to everything. Good luck this season. And trust me, I'm going to kick your ass.